Gosh, next for Overland South, that's a great question. You know, I think the weather report, we had a really, let's say, mixed, terribly mixed weather report for this weekend, and we still had a lot of people show up. I think one thing, I feel like we're close to popping, but when you go to some of these bigger expos, they literally draw out a grid of 10 by 10 boxes, and you have to, or 20 by 20, and you got to camp within that 20. And so if this event gets that big, then it will have jumped the shark. So you know, you should be able to come in and pick a camping spot and be on the lake and whatever. So I don't. I think that we maybe have to be careful with the next one, and maybe there may have to be a cutoff at a certain point. You know, that'd be a good problem to have in a way. So yeah, the genesis was two different things that came together. There's a much bigger event that's a national one, and that also has Overland in its name, and they have like 33,000 people. And I always kind of wanted to go, but it's always too far away and a little expensive, and you know, I was like, you know, I wish they would have one closer. And then I kind of thought, well, why couldn't we have one? And separately, at the same time that thought was germinating, I came out here to the Woodlands Nature Reserve, which is a beautiful property, and I came out, it's a venue, and I came out for a show, and I was with a friend of mine, and he happened to know the owner who was walking by, and he introduced us, and we were talking, and he talked about my Unimog, my big truck, and the owner said, dude, you should bring that out and go off-roading with me. And I was like, okay, yeah, you know, I just assumed he was being nice, you know. So after a week, he got my number from my friend, and he called me. He's like, "When are you bringing that Unimog out? Let's go for a road or off road." And I was like, "All right, it's on." So I showed up. He got in the Unimog. We went tearing over these trails. There's well over 50 miles of trails here, dirt roads and trails. There are trails that haven't been ridden on in years. They're just giant saplings coming up, and so we hit these trails, just mowing down like saplings and going down. You know, we got stuck in the power lines. We had to winch ourselves out, and like we had like 2 feet of winch of line left. We just barely made it to the nearest tree. Otherwise, we'd still be there. And so we had a great day, and you know, we were talking, and I talked about sort of my idea of wanting to have events earlier, and he said, well, we always kind of thought about maybe doing a off-roading event or something. And I said, oh, well, if I was going to do it, I would make it sort of an overlanding event. So it's about the people staying in vehicles and camping and basically anything about auto habitation, or even, you know, being in a tent and car camping. And so we started talking about it, and oh, well, you know, I'd do this, I'd see this. And at the end of the conversation, he said, well, look, we really focus on the infrastructure of events. We don't produce the events. Okay. He's like, why don't you produce the event? And I have no promoter background whatsoever. And it was total Jedi mind trick. I go, why don't I produce the event? So I ended up somehow agree, oh, okay, how hard could it be?
having been found worthy to be numbered as one of our trusty overlanders, has been duly initiated in slick clay skid steer operations. Be it further understood that by virtue of the power invested in me, I hereby command all overlanders to show due honor and respect to him wherever he may be. Disobey this order under penalty and our great displeasure, given under our hand and sealed this 23rd of March 2024.
What in the world?
Thank you, Jeff.
Hold on a second. This is the opposite of what should be happening. Like, I should be giving you guys stuff because this would not be possible without you. And someone was asking about the event and the stress and I have met so many cool people.